5-star, 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 all 5 stars, right?
Hey guys, what's up? This is Awwyeeah and it's an honor to serve the king. See, so today we're gonna talk about something that is something that's been behind all my content, but I feel like we gotta talk about it in essence here. Let's talk about today why Ironlights is one of the best VR games on the MetaQuest and no one knows it. So I've been in VR, the VR space, for about 2 years or more, and I've played quite a bit of games, you know, starting off with the demo, super hot. Then I played Sacramento, which is an amazing game. If you haven't tried that, you definitely should. I've played Journey of the Gods, I've played Swords of Gargantua, I've played Orbis Reborn, I've played more recently Zenith, and still probably playing it. I have to probably get back into it. And Ironlights. But the game that I play the most out of any other game is Ironlights. And I mean, I literally bought a second headset just to play Ironlights. I upgraded from the Oculus 1 to the Oculus 2, and here we are. But as it stands, 2 years later, I am still consistently playing Ironlights more than any other game on my Oculus headset. I literally log into my headset, and the first thing I do is log into Ironlights, and I hit the training room. I hit the training room, and I'm always practicing every day. Every single day I practice. It's like going to the gym for me. Do you even lift, bro? Yeah, that's what it is. Like, I lift every single day. You got to. And so, there is a different number of angles that I can go into. And I guess it's gonna take me logging into other games just to show you what I mean. And I'm gonna explain to you why Ironlights is a game that you should get on your MetaQuest, and why it is one of the greatest games ever created that literally almost nobody knows about. So, let's start from scratch here. Let's start with another game. Let's take a look at another game. Because if I start with Ironlights, you guys are probably going to say, oh, you're a little biased. So instead of doing that, let's go ahead and use as an example something that is very close to Ironlights. Let's go ahead and play more recently and more critically acclaimed, and it's actually a good game, but I'm going to show you what it's missing. So I haven't played this game in a while, so it's probably, hopefully it's not gonna. Let's go ahead and play Zenith, and I'm gonna compare the combat physics of Zenith. Alright, go ahead and allow. And we're gonna compare the combat with Zenith with Ironlights, and I'm gonna prove to you why even games that are still coming out now, why they don't really measure up to Ironlights. First thing you'll notice, man, I haven't played this game in a while. Alright, so I have to get back into it though. But anyways, Ironlights, this has an incredible world, it's great, but in Ironlights, the biggest thing that you notice right away upon logging in to any sword action game is that the weapons don't feel real. It looks incredible. I mean, there's 1,000 things you can do, right? But the weapons have no weight to it. I'm probably gonna get killed here. I don't even remember. So you're swinging away, right? I don't even remember how to play. And the combat looks visually awesome, right? That's the first thing you'll notice. Alright, combat. Just level up really quick. Okay. Combat looks amazing, right? You can do a lot of stuff, but you can't feel your blades. You can't feel the weapon. There's no weight to it. It looks great, but there's no weight. There's no physics. There's no interaction with your environment. When I hit an enemy, I don't even sense or feel that I am hitting it or killing it. There's no satisfaction for maneuvering or doing certain techniques. It all feels the same. It feels like I'm just waving my hands in air the whole time. Like there's no connectivity between my weapons and the action that is done. And that is a huge element for me, that the game can be great storytelling and great, but that lack of sensory feedback is a critical part of immersion for me. And Ironlights, as you know, is a very simple game, extremely simple. But just that element alone, I don't need a story. I don't need fancy abilities or anything. Okay, where did I just go? I don't know, or anything. But the weapon physics are huge for me. So with that said, let's go back into Ironlights. I just want to show that really quickly. Alright, so let's go back and play Ironlights. Now, I'll explain it, but let's go into weapon physics. Right? So here we are in the class choosing screen, right? And in Ironlights, we have what? We have 10 different classes that you can choose from, each with its unique set of physics and fighting style, so to speak, you could say, right? So here we are, class info. Let's start off, let's go one by one. So the duelist. Here we go. Immediately picking up the blade, even just waving the blade like this, you feel the feedback, you feel the wind, you literally feel the wind or the pressure of the blade slicing the air. You can feel the momentum, the vibration in your hand. You can feel the weight of it. It feels light. The weapon feels like it has weight. There's a drag that occurs when you swing your weapon. You feel when the blade is bending. You feel when it wobbles like this. You feel it. You feel everything. The sensory feedback the developer has programmed into this game is so on point that it's addicting. You feel the shield. You feel when you throw the shield. You feel the shield wobble. You feel what angle it is currently wobbling at. You feel everything. It feels real. It literally feels real. If you ever dreamed as a kid, what it would be like to fight with a sword and a shield or whatever weapon and be able to swing it and not kill somebody, Ironlights is the game. There's no game like it. And a lot of people, when they first download the game and they get Ironlights, their first feedback is, oh, why is there slow motion? Because of the tutorial. But in actuality, when you are actually fighting online, the combat is so fast-paced that I would argue that you would have trouble keeping up. Because at the level of play that you can, of being a highly skilled player, the skill gap between a low skilled player and a high skilled player is immense. You'll notice that a low skilled player fighting somebody that has a very high skill level, it would seem like they are doing the impossible in the game, but really they've learned how to sense the feedback and use edge alignment, and cut the wind with the blade. And it just seems like they're moving so fast, but it's because they learned the game mechanics. And that's something that a lot of people that try the game and they leave immediately, they never get to experience the true way the game is meant to be played. And it is at core the best sword play experience that you can have on any game. So look at the duelist play, cuts the, I'm going to show you another weapon, one of my favorite weapons, and it happens to be next. Monk. Monk is my favorite, one of my favorite. I would say my second favorite, I have to say second. But it's definitely a close for first place. And you basically have a bow staff, and you feel the physics. You feel when it spins. You feel when it wraps around your body. You feel when it's going behind your back. You feel everything. You feel the vibration in your hand when you grab it. You feel everything. You feel the rotation. You feel what direction is rotating in your hand. You feel everything. It's just so great. You feel the whole staff. You feel holding the staff. You can tell what part of the staff you're holding, even if your eyes are closed. I challenge people that try the game and gave up to do this. Close your eyes with the headset on and grab your weapon. You will feel where your weapon is. I actually
And just to show you real quick, you have the Katars, right? You have the Great Sword. You have the Reaper Blade. You have my first favorite, the Crusader, Flail, and Shield. You have the Samurai Blade. You have the Berserker Hammer, and the Berserker Hammer is one of the heaviest physics weapons in the game. You feel the weight of the hammer. You feel it. You can feel when it bounces. You feel when it hits the floor. You have the Dragoon, the Glaive and Dagger. You have the Scourge, which is dual whip. You feel everything. Guys, you feel everything. One of the things that I started doing in Ironlights, and it took me a long time to get to this point. And I'm not bragging or saying that people should do this, because it actually don't do this because it's dangerous and you can actually hurt yourself. I'm able to do it because I have an open play area where I can practice. But what I do now, when I practice, when I come into the training room, I'm actually now training blind. And that is extremely dangerous, so I give this disclaimer: do not do this unless you know what you're doing, okay? I actually train blind, and so what I do, I'll set my opponent, of course, to the highest level, has to be on hard or go home, it's just at this point. Set them to defend, and endless attack. And I close my eyes, and I will try and sense where his weapon is coming from, the sound and the vibration. And I didn't do too bad, I think. When I see the replay, I'll see how horrible I did. But I'm training with my eyes closed, basically. I'm learning to hear the direction of the blade. I'm learning to feel the vibration of the attacks rather than focus on my sight. And so that's the level of training that I'm at right now. Just to push myself harder and harder each and every day. Ironlights is realistic combat. It's the closest that you can get to sparring with somebody in real life. This is it. There's no greater game than this. If you're looking for a weapons sparring game, Ironlights, I will go down on record and say that Ironlights is the best weapon combat game on the MetaQuest. The best weapon combat game on the MetaQuest. And I will say that, and anyone can quote me on that. They can, if they want me to endorse it. You have my endorsement. Ironlights is the greatest weapons combat game on the MetaQuest. And not a lot of people know about the game Ironlights. Why? Because the developer has not done any type of true promotion of the game. He's relying strictly on word of mouth promotion, which I get it, but to me, I would argue that this game with a player base would be easily over 1 million people. Easily over 1 million people, if people just knew about it. I don't know, my suspicion, I don't know if part of the reason why the hesitation between promotion is that perhaps at the level of popularity that it can gain, say that we have 1,000 active players online at a time. I don't know if he has the server to accommodate 1,000 players. Maybe that's the reason. But I imagine with that many people playing, they would make enough revenue to support that technical challenge. And so, just look at combat. It's just the feedback of the combat, of fighting. It's just like no other. When you hit their armor, you feel the vibration. You literally feel the vibration go from the weapon, down the weapon. You feel the vibration like channel from the weapon into your arm, into your body. And I'm not wearing any type of haptic bodysuit, guys. I should mention that. All I have is my Oculus controllers and the headset on. And they are able to replicate the sensation of combat to the T. Like, you would literally feel the same if I was fighting like this in real life, with the exception probably I would cut off an arm or bruise somebody pretty bad. The only sensation that I say that's missing is the sensation of pain, which is a good thing because we don't want to feel pain, because there's a lot of pain that can be had in Ironlights. You know, that's probably not a game that you want to have haptic pain feedback. Ironlights. For that, can you imagine like having haptic pain feedback for playing Ironlights? Like every person that would play, like even if you won, you would end up in a hospital, like automatically. Doctor's like, oh, what happened to him? He left. He won a match in Ironlights. That'd be crazy. But like just the feedback, just sensation, hitting their weapon, you feel everything. You feel everything. You feel literally everything. It's just the haptic feedback. Man, I could talk on the haptic feedback that Ironlights creates all day. It's just there's no game like it. And this is the one reason why when I get those other games and I play them, I enjoy them, but there's something missing. It's not like Ironlights. The weapons don't feel real. It's missing that immersion from it. And so that's enough about the haptic feedback of the game. I could talk about this literally for hours, but I get convinced to play the game just on that point alone. But there's so many reasons why Ironlights is such a great game. I'm just going to go through all my other points quickly. The game has a single player campaign mode where you can choose a class and you go through the campaign and you can play at the rookie level, you can play at the professional level, or you can play at the legend level if you are really good, if you think that you have what it takes. You can see that each level has different rewards. The rewards are larger, of course, for the harder difficulties. And so the opponents are harder. You know, at the legend level, you see that the opponents recharge their energy 200% faster, meaning they can attack you twice as much as you do, and the opponents take 30% less damage. So really, at the legend difficulty, it's really training you how to be a good player. And really, the way that I see the single player mode, it has many different opponents you can choose from. You can see we have how many different opponents here, 32, and then more on the league, and you have different leagues. So you have the tutorial, of course, that teaches you how to play. And then you can go to Bronze League, then you have the Silver Leagues, and then you have the Gold League, which is the hardest and the final stage of the single player campaign. And in addition to that, what you can also access is that we have this thing in Ironlights where we have the Major League Tournament once or twice a month, and the winners of the Major League Tournaments get the opportunity to have a copy of their character imported into the game. So in addition to the single player campaign, you can actually play against players that recently won Major League Tournaments, and this is actually their character recorded in the game, so you can actually fight against a Major League skill level opponent in the game. You can train on them. I actually have utilized this a bit. There is this one guy called Grimcrag, which you probably know from a lot of my videos, who is a beast with a hammer. You see him drinking and tossing his drink behind him. I've actually practiced against the Grimbot many times, and I've died, I would say, 80% of the time, and only managed to win against Grimbot 20%. So it's truly extremely hard to win against these opponents because they are bringing their best. It's sort of like their signature, their stamp. You know, they're saying, hey, this is a recording of who I am, how I play, this is my fighting style. And you can go up against their fighting style, and likely you're going to get demolished, but you will learn a great deal of how to defend and how to fight against the best of the best in the game. And that's why I can really appreciate the single player campaign. It's much more than just senseless, soulless bots. The bots that you against, they taunt you, they make fun of you, they have personality. Each person, each recording bot, you can tell that they're unique and that they're individualized, and I really appreciate that. It's funny, Kai is probably one of the best players in the game, and it says Duel versus Kai, and Duel, it says the level impossible. That's how hard it is. It's impossible. That's basically what it says. So that's awesome. But yeah, just many different many different opponents and styles, fighting styles you can go against, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing what Emil has managed to do with this game. Another reason I really love the game, and I guess I'll end with the biggest one, is the introduction of a sandbox mode. So Sandbox, I guess we'll go here and create a new fighter, or what's the easiest way to get in? Maybe I can just fight Bob. Okay, so in the Sandbox mode, basically players go all the time, hey, how about bringing this weapon into the game, or that weapon into the game, or I want to try this weapon, or that weapon, or how about E, when are we going to have this weapon? So E, over the course of a year or so, he was chiefly working, and we didn't know, on introducing literally hundreds of weapon combinations into the game. So if you ever wanted to try out a weapon that maybe is not in the official multiplayer version of the game, but you would like to see what it would be like to fight it, there is a special game mode for that, and that is called Sandbox mode. And you can use weapons like the Great Axe, you can use a giant Gatling gun, look at that. You can use things, katana, all the core weapons are there. You can mix and match weapons. You can even have a stick with a chakram. There's even a pistol in there. You can fight with a fish even. I believe that if you don't know that there is a 1% chance that you can one-shot your opponent with a fish. Just saying. So, side note, but there is literally hundreds of combinations, weapon combinations that you can do. And it basically is endless fun. And so that's the Sandbox mode. Let's talk about the multiplayer. So, in multiplayer, this is the main reason that I play the game, of course, is for the quick match. So you go into quick match, right? You go online. It's pinging everybody that's online. You can see, all right now there's 38 players online. So there's no one at my skill level. So I'm at a champion level. So there's no one at the within range of my rank to fight. But if I turn it off here, you can see that now I have one opponent to fight, and it's probably someone at the gold level, or platinum. And that's fine, but I prefer to keep it on just to fight people at my skill level. So, but there's different modes. So you can see that as you activate these things, you turn these toggles on, the more opponents that you'll be able to find. So I turn that off. I turn on standard. See if there's now 4 people available I can fight. I turn on casual. Now it's up to 9. Balanced, there's 10. Sandbox now that, and if I turn it off closely, so there are 4 people close to my rank playing in one of these game modes at any given time. So you'll always find a match. A match will take you maybe 30 seconds, at most, maybe just 1 minute to find an opponent to fight. And the matches, the fights last maybe about, I would say, 2 minutes a fight, right? And you have 3 rounds, so anywhere it could take about maybe 4 minutes, 4 to 6 minutes to complete a game match set against an opponent, which is great because that means you can go on to the next opponent. And just the combat, we'll go into a game soon, but there's other things I want to mention first. So we have the training room. I mentioned the training room at the beginning, but the training room is essential. Gives me a way to sort of make sure that my boundary is set up correctly before I jump into the match. Gives me the opportunity to practice. Sometimes, guys, literally when I'm not in the game and I'm out of the headset, and especially at night when I'm sleeping, I'll dream of techniques while I'm asleep. And I'm like, I wonder if that happens in the game. And then I'll wake up in the morning, I'll hurry, get on Ironlights, and then I'll try the technique. And like, oh wow, double shot works, I can actually do that, and it's like crazy. So, but that's thanks to the training room, that I can actually come in here and experiment and try all sorts of funky things that I want to experiment and create. And this is where you will create your fighting style. You'll put your fighting style to test online in the multiplayer, and you'll learn things in the multiplayer too. But this is your dojo. This is where you come and you're practicing. This is your punch dummy. This is where you come to practice and refine your technique and your fighting style, so that when you go online, you know what to do. you know what to do. And there, you can play every single class here, and there's only one difficulty, which is hard, that you should be using, because the others don't count. I mean, they count, but if you really want to gain rank, you're playing against hard or you're going home. And you can have, say, your opponent to use range only or melee. And so it's really, really useful coming in here to practice. But let's jump in a match just to show you just the whole Ironlights experience. For those that have never played the game before, just to show you what it's like. So we're gonna show you what it's like to actually play Ironlights. So you're like, all right, you're feeling brave today, right? You're gonna hop online. We're gonna go click quick match. We're gonna hop on, and we are gonna go big or go home. I'm just gonna do a single, which is really dangerous because probably the person I'm gonna go against is gonna play ninja and win. But just for the sake of it, we're gonna go and play a single duel. Or should I show you the best of 3? I'll give you the true experience. So let's see. It depends. Whatever pops first. So I'll put both. Let's see who we find as an opponent. Is there anyone? So, alright, it says no open match found, so it's hosting the game. So now I am the host for a game, and now we're waiting for an opponent. So you can play a single player game while we wait in order to watch clips or submitted by the community. So one of the things that I can actually show you is that while we're waiting, we can actually either go to the training room, we can go on the single player campaign and actually play, or we can go and replay. So my favorite thing to do is one of the 2 things, is to go into the training room or in replay. So let's go look at a replay. Let's watch a replay of something that I recently did. So let me play a match. So one of the great things is that Ironlights gives you the ability to record your matches. Player 1 versus player 2. You can see player 2, Awwyeeah, or player 1. And you can save your matches. So if you're ever like, oh man, I want to figure out what happened when I fought this opponent. So you just click on that, and you go and you're watching your replay of your match. You can see that we're in with the audience. We're sort of standing here real time. We can see them, but they can't see us, and we cannot interact with them. But it's like we're standing right there. Now we have the little camera here, which is sort of showing the camera angle as it's been recording. And we're watching a match that had already occurred. And you can sort of go back and see, all right, so when he attacked like this is what happened. Or you can see how much damage was done. Sometimes in a match, things happen so fast that you don't remember exactly what occurred. And so we have all this functionality here, and you see like the sparkle falling and stuff. Alright, so we have a match, so never mind. So here we go, we have an opponent. We're gonna fight who? Static. Okay, in a single match. So I'm gonna play my monk versus Static. He gave me a thumbs up, I'm giving him the thumbs back. And here we are. As we enter the arena, we start off sort of at one point of the arena. And you can see that we're loading in on this flying platform. You got the lights here, you got the audience cheering at everyone. You can see your opponent is on the other side, is coming towards you. You can watch them, see what they're doing. And you can tell, all right, who is he playing? So his name is Static. And Static, oh, look at his entrance. All right, so that's his entrance. He's playing the hammer. And I'm gonna be playing the monk. So I do my entrance. They give you a few seconds to do your entrance, and then now the battle's on. Oh, he's attacking right away. He is trying to end me really fast with the Berserker. He probably thought I didn't know how to block, but now he's really surprised that I actually know how to fight, and he's in trouble probably. It's funny that he chose Berserker because he was probably counting on a quick win, because Berserker can wreck classes very easily. Very, very easily. And so, let's see. Alright, I did quite a bit of damage. Now he's charging, he's trying to get that quick hit, and he did. He got some huge hits in, and he sort of evened the game. Oh. Alright, he's hitting a lot, but he's very confident that he's gonna win, because he's playing a very heavy class. And he's trying to brute force me down, but it's not going to be so easy for him, because I am blocking the majority of his attacks. So I'm gonna try and stop his regeneration here. See if I can get an arrow hit in. Alright. Oh. The lower body hits. Hammer does a lot of damage. A lot of damage here. Alright, he didn't get any hits in. Now he's mad because he didn't get any hits. Now he's desperate. He's trying to kill me. Now he has no health, and I'm gonna demolish him here. Boom! And that's how it's done. Intense battle. My opponent, you can see that he's a ghost now. He just clapped and he bowed, and I clapped back. You know, they're very amicable, very hard opponent to fight. So it was a great match. He gave me the thumbs up, I gave him a thumbs up too. Gonna save the replay so we can watch it later. You see that it says the victory here, victory versus static, and it gave me 5,000 gold, max rank because I can't gain any higher rank. It shows your rank right there, and but normally if you were under champion rank, it would say like, oh, you got 10% of his trophies or 5%, and that would be added onto your score to boost your rank. And so we'll go back to the menu, and that was a fight. And so in best of 3, if I had won or lost that match, it would have gave me the option to ban one of his classes. Normally you're going to ban a class that you don't want to go up against, or a class that your opponent uses really well that you don't want to fight again. And so it's best of 3, so the first player to win 2 matches wins. So that is a little bit of the multiplayer experience, and just a little bit going back quickly here into the replay. So after that, you can see that you can go back and actually watch the match that we just had, and you can see here how I was defending, how I wasn't expecting him to attack right away, but I can see why he was playing the single player, just trying to get that easy win with a class like Berserker or Ninja, which are really hard classes to be against, and his defense style was really good. He was able to block pretty well. I wasn't expecting him to defend as well as he did. As you can see here, he's doing a great job playing. So yeah, you can come back and watch your plays. You can see how the final hits. That's my favorite thing to do, is watch the final strikes and what happened. You see how it shatters in slow motion. Yeah. Other thing that I like about Ironlights, and it's just the amount of customization that you can do to your character. So this is me, this is what I look like, this is my original skin, my original color. But you have so many different armors that you can choose. You have so many options to style your character and make yourself truly unique. And you can have different armors, you can do different helms, and you can set up different color schemes. And then so you can do the metal, you can choose the type of metal color, and then you can accent that color with another color. So you have many different options here to really set apart and make your character unique. So I'm gonna put back my armor here, and my helm, and I'm gonna put back my color. Alright. So there you are. So yeah, lots of customization options to differentiate and make yourself look unique as a player. Another thing that you can do, say that you want to fight against a friend of yours, you can actually go here, you can set a code. You can set a code and share that with your friend and say, hey, I want you to play with me. Here's the code. You send them the code 77 exactly as you see it, lowercase 77, or whatever code you want it to be, right? Whatever that is, right? You send that to them, then you click done, and then you go host. And so now you're hosting and you're waiting for your friend who has the code that you sent to join. And once he joins, it's going to says player connected, and then you guys go off and do whatever you want to do. Or your friend can send you the code and you can join their game, and then there it is. Same way. So it's really great. So that's a great way you can play and practice with your friend without actually jumping on the multiplayer online. Something I should also mention is that you have the Sandbox mode, which is basically a mode only for the Sandbox, which is really great and really fun if you want to play with unique weapons. And I've learned some crazy physics experimenting in Sandbox that I apply with the other classes in Standard Investor 3. And so Sandbox is a great place to learn and to experiment as well. So I think that's mostly everything. It's just, I could go on all day talking about why Ironlights is amazing, why it's just an awesome game. An awesome game. Also, if you of course, you can come to my YouTube channel for tips, but within the game now we have a tips feature where you can learn basics of fighting. If you didn't know, you click on tips and it shows you tips of how to actually fight and use combat. So energy regeneration, it talks about charging up here, it talks about damage modifiers, how it works. The game, headshots, you do more damage, and body shots, so to speak. You got shields, how the shields work, and other tips in the game. So it is awesome. For those that don't know, I guess this is a point worth mentioning. One of the best things about the Ironlights is the community. And the best way to get in contact with the community is, of course, the Discord. You got to get on the Ironlights Discord. If you don't know, I think it's there. It's literally like the first thing you see when you log in the game. But our Discord is right here. Well, it says Ironlights Discord, but let's see if it actually gives the address here. So you can actually search Ironlights in Discord and you'll find it, or you can get a link in ironlightsgame.com. So there's another thing that you can do, which is more advanced. You can download a spectator client. So say you want to spectate your friends playing online, you can spectate matches that are going on as long as you have their code. And so there's just so much that you can do. Ironlights is an amazing game. I can talk about Ironlights all day, but I just want to explain a little bit behind the reasoning of why Ironlights till this day is one of the best, if not the best, weapon fighting combat game on the MetaQuest, and why you should download it and get it today. We do have also, tandem with that, a scoreboard for Ironlights where you can see the rankings of everybody on the leaderboards. So you can see your leaderboard standings. You can see where you stand up against other people. See your ranking with friends and stuff, and it's all sorts of leaderboard. You can see the multiplayer leaderboard, or so if you want to see for multiplayer, currently I'm ranked 19. So all rankings, you can see all the player rankings. So you can see number one player has, in Ironlights, the game as a whole has almost 9,000 points. That's AA earned. So this happens to be our first Titan rank, or Titan champion in the game. And then we have other players. So at the highest point, you have 8,000 points. And then all the way 7,000, 6,000, 4,000. And then 3,000, and so on. There I am at 3,000. I haven't been playing multiplayer as often as I should, but I am definitely starting to now play more consistently. But yeah, you can see the top 20, or you can see whatever rank. It goes all the way up to infinity, seeing what rank the players. And there are a lot of players. You can see there's a lot of players playing Ironlights, and it just goes on and on all the way for all 78,000 players of Ironlights. But I truly believe that if more people knew about the game, we would be easily over 1 million. I guess the biggest barrier for entry for most people is that they don't have a virtual reality headset, but more and more people are catching on and getting virtual reality headsets. I chose to get the Oculus Quest 2 over saving for the PS5 because I could not see myself sitting down on the couch, playing with a remote controller and having an immersive experience. It is just once you've gone VR, you don't go back. Honestly, it's very hard to go back. As beautiful as it is looking at a television screen, there's nothing like actually being inside a video game. And so, and nothing like fighting with weapons in a video game. It just feels it's incomparable. It really is incomparable. And so, I believe I talked enough about Ironlights and why it's just awesome and why you should play it. And so definitely grab Ironlights. It's really cheap. I think, well, I don't want to say cheap. It's inexpensive. The game, I believe, is only $19, or it might even be less than that. What is it? $19? Let me see. I don't even know if it shows me how much I could purchase it for because I already have it purchased. But well, it's there, right? Just take it at that. It's probably $19 or less than 19. Has a very high rating, as you can see. It's almost 2,000 ratings, almost over 1,000 reviews, 4.4, almost 5.0 in rating. And I would argue and say that the 0.6 points that it's missing is from people that jumped in the tutorial, and the tutorial is like very slow motion. The tutorial is really just trying to show you the physics of the game, but it's at a very slow pace. So people jump in that and they think, oh my gosh, this game is so slow, this is not what I thought it is, I'm leaving, get a refund. And they never experience the game. And that's truly sad because this is the greatest game on the Quest in the form of sword player combat or fighting action, you can say, whatever. It is amazing. You can see people 4-star, 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 5-star, 4-star, 5-star, 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 all 5 stars, right? And then the one person that has issues is probably, see, low rank or didn't give the game a good opportunity. See? Mid-game at first, but you know, but overall, 5-star ratings. 5-star ratings. The game is amazing for a reason. Those that discover it, those that happen to fall upon this gem of the game, discovers that it's truly an amazing game. And so, I tell you, grab the game, tell your friends to grab the game, hit me up, I'm Awwyeeah on Discord, on the Ironlights server, or if you catch me online, it'll be an honor to fight you. So anyways, that's a little bit of why Ironlights is one of the greatest games and why I hope to see you online soon. Take care. As always, it's an honor to serve the king.